this summer with the movie Transformers. Critics really ganged up on it. I felt a little unfairly because I thought I agreed with many of the criticisms. I thought it was not a good piece of storytelling, but I thought some of the special effects were really fun. I thought it was more fun than some critics did. But there was a real divide, and it took on almost a mythological dimension between all the critics who bashed it, and I felt sort of used Michael Bay as a symbol of everything that had gone on wrong in Hollywood. Maybe he's not a bad symbol of that, but in a way I think he became kind of a whipping boy. So on the one hand, you had the critics lined up saying, it's a terrible piece of storytelling, it's too long, it has too many characters, it doesn't really make sense. I kind of liked the movie and agreed with a lot of those criticisms. Then you had the audiences who seemed to be ignoring what the critics said.
Everybody, has a job, and then they have a second job. They're film critics. And there was real truth in that. People stand around on the sidewalk after a movie that's interesting in any of many ways, and they love to talk about it.
If you saw the best movie you'd ever seen on YouTube, would it qualify for one of your lists? Mm-hmm. Because generally the marketplace can be very misleading, and we start to believe that the only thing that's out there is the thing that's on a billboard or happens to be coming out this or that week, and so forth. And this year, when I compile my top 10 list, I will be putting a movie on there that's legally posted on YouTube. It's called Sita Sings the Blues. It was animated in Flash on a laptop over the course of 4 years. And I think that's the sort of thing that shows you that there's a lot of noise, and it's hard for voices to stick out, but only within a certain sort of pre-existing hierarchy.
I have a lead review that's one movie usually. Sometimes it's two, and then 3 short movies and a director's spotlight. And so I'm writing about 5 or 6 movies a month. I can't write about films that I don't like. I have to write about films I like because they only have like 2 pages a month, and they don't particularly need me saying, this sucks. But if something morally outrages me, I can write about that. But so my lead review is I do get off on trying to turn people onto movies that I think they really should see and really should love. And sometimes I know I'm writing about a movie that they aren't going to see.
Film criticism and film journalism, I guess maybe we should come up with a certain distinction there, because film journalism, I think, is always going to be around. I mean, maybe arts journalism is going to suffer because print is suffering, but film critics, they're just opinions, right? They're just voice boxes.
I think one of the things that film critics like myself have had to deal with, if you compare the landscape now to 20 years ago, is there are a great many more voices. I applaud all those voices. I mean, anybody writing about film, anybody especially writing well about film, I'm excited to read, and that's a good thing. There is a sense of fragmentation, and of course, to me, it's not just within the world of film criticism, it's everywhere. The internet fragments everything. It brings in more voices. It's harder for any one voice to, not so much to be heard as to really stand out, I think.